Hi. Okay, so do we think right off the bat that the fight was staged? And I don't mean that it was a fake fight, like they invented points to argue about. I mean literally staged. Like they literally went outside, dug a spot in the snow so it would be the most aesthetic spot they could find, and staged themselves like some sort of stage play. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Cozy. I like to talk about sister wives and related reality television shows here on YouTube. I do like to remind you these videos are for entertainment purposes only. These are not facts. They're just my opinions about public figures sharing their lives on television. So if we're cool, let's go. All right. So we get this message that pops up. Before the cameras arrived, Cody and Robyn got into a fight, and Cody decided to go take a drive to calm down, which is probably for the best. Cody's like, earlier in the day, we got into this discussion, as he calls it, after we dropped the kids off for school. And Robyn was extremely upset that Cody's not reaching out more to the other children. And Robyn does admit she was putting pressure on Cody to reach out to them and try to talk to them more often. And she says, yeah, it triggered him. It upset him. So Cody starts describing the fight. And then he says the super dumb thing to say if he ever wants to get his family back together. Because he says, I'm not going to fight with Robyn and have a rift in our relationship caused by these people who have created the biggest rift in his life. Bad take. Cody, you cannot blame anyone else for your issues in your relationship with Robyn. They're not here and they're not causing anything. So he decided he just needed to take off and go calm down. Robyn says that Cody called and said he was coming back. So she gets all bundled up and goes outside to talk to him. And she's like, I have to talk to him. I have to have it sink in. Sink in what? That the family is split apart, or sink in that you want him to understand what you want him to do? I wasn't clear. So she said this is something that's eating at her because she's just so worried about these kids. And even on the couch when Cody says that he's going to come back, maybe we can finish the conversation, he still sounds angry about it. And we know that those couch interviews are not filmed at the same time as the episode. So clearly he is actually angry. So if you're hoping for this like wildly in-depth, word-by-word account of this fight, let me stop you here. This conversation goes in this giant circle. Nothing is said, nothing is resolved, and nothing is accomplished. I'm happy to give you all the important bits, but there is 22 minutes left of this episode, and 15 of them are probably just Cody saying the same words over and over with no result, and Robyn too. So they start off in this weird sort of like stilted check-in with each other. Are you okay? Are you feeling better? Can we talk a little more? Now, normally, that would be something fair, check in with your partner, but the conversation feels like, hey, we're having this fight for television, so you're gonna say you're okay? It's odd. It doesn't feel like two humans interacting. It feels so camera-friendly, like I was saying. So Cody starts up saying that this is a trigger point for him, and he's tired of being angry, and Robyn's like, yeah, I know, me too. I'm not sure if she just said she's tired of Cody being angry or was just like, yeah, no, it sucks to be angry all the time. So he goes on to tell her he is so tired of feeling betrayed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sick of that word. But on the couch, Cody's like, what has happened in the divorces? The ugly anger, the ugly finger of blame has come out. And he mocks his kids saying, Dad, you were never at my house. And then gives this non-apology of, oh, I'm sorry, I had 4 wives, and I was at your house because the other wife was complaining that I was with you. All through this, he is literally pointing his finger at the camera like it's the child that he's blaming for this. So in the snow, Robyn's like, I can't understand why he's not talking to his kids as much as he can, reaching out to them so much more. He starts getting heated again and is like, listen, this has been going on for so long, and they're just trash talking me. And Robyn's like, no, the kids are hurting. So he cuts her off and is like, you saw how they were at the wedding. And Couch Cody gets like complaining that there's so much animosity. Some of his kids refuse to engage him at all. And in the fight, he says, some of these kids flat out rejected me, and then drops that Madison scuttled her kids away from him. And he's getting angry that she never told him she was pregnant with baby number 3. And I would definitely venture a guess that she did not tell him about baby 4 either. But Robyn admits, yeah, I saw her. Janelle jumps in and is like, listen, his kids are upset with him because he ditched out on the family. And then she points out, Maddie does not have contact with him. How would she have told him? Maddie's super protective of her children, and Cody has not been around since Evie was born. And Evie is 3.5 at that point. Now listen, I never really knew my mom's bio dad when I was a child. Not with any kind of clarity or understanding. He was not there. He did not see us. And when I was about 10 or so, we started seeing him infrequently and then eventually moved into his home to kind of help him out. I never really developed like a grandparent relationship to him. And to this day, if you ask me, my mom's stepdad's my grandpa, right? So if he's not fostered that relationship with Evie and Axel, I can understand Maddie's concerns because she doesn't want them to grow up the way that I did. Janelle says that Maddie doesn't want him to just like drop in, I assume at the wedding, and be like, oh, I'm your grandpa, and have the kids be like, Mom, who is this guy? Panicking, right? That sounds like a Cody problem. So Cody argues it's unrealistic to expect grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives all the time, especially if you move your children to an entirely different coast. Let me stop you there, Codestar. Maddie and Caleb moved to Vegas to be close to you. And I literally went and dug up a clip I believe was from season 13 where Maddie's explaining that they moved to Vegas to be closer to family. And now you guys are moving to Flagstaff. I'm not moving away from me. You are. And his excuse is like, I have a work and life in Flagstaff. Video calls exist. Regular phone calls exist. And making a point to fly out and visit when you can exists. Not everyone lives down the street from you, and you have to be willing to make time for them. I lived in a completely different state than my grandparents for a couple different periods of my life. And I would get calls, emails, as I got older, text messages, just to make sure that I was doing all right. Cody accuses the kids of purposefully leaving him out of their lives to punish him for a crime he did not commit. And he's going to say this about 8 more times. I didn't count, I'm just guessing. And then he says he's only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers. That is bad enough. How much would it hurt if you thought your dad didn't love your mom and say loved, I don't know, your ex-wife's mom more than her? And then he begins accusing Maddie of spreading gossip to the entire family, even going so far as to claim she lied and told Janelle he didn't love her. How is that a lie when you literally just said you didn't love the other women? Like, you literally said it in the clip that you are reacting to. So on the couch, he's contradicting himself yet again when he claims, I actually said I loved Janelle, and this is just some rumor created in the family. You literally just said you didn't love Janelle. I would say this is a rumor that you began, because you didn't love Christine, you didn't love Mary, you didn't love Janelle. Sounds like you started this. Then he claims that the family was killed by gossip. Janelle comes to Madison's defense, calling Cody's claim of a narrative that Maddie's such a gossip. She points out he is that much of a gossip, sharing that Mary was difficult or Christine was whatever, and he would always tell her things about Mary and Christine, but never about Robyn. He never had a negative word to say. Cody circles back to everyone having contempt for him, and he's floundering when Robyn gives him this very clearly upset face. And he tries to backtrack when she says she's having a hard time by saying, listen, I'll reach out and love the children who will allow me to do it. You like to hope this is just hideous phrasing and that deep down he will love them regardless, but you know what? From past instances, I'm not sure I would believe that. He thinks in time the other kids will come around, and I agree with McKelty's assessment on her Patreon that if he took more accountability, that might happen. Also, McKelty, girlfriend, you do not have to watch these live if they're going to hurt you. Your fans will understand. Robyn reminds Cody that she had a rough relationship with her bio dad. She said he did not do what a dad is supposed to do. And Cody argues, I've not been doing that. So Robyn shares that after the divorce, her dad was not present in her life the way she needed him to be. But Cody did not do that. And she asked him why and what happened, but asserts that all he did was make up lame excuses. But Cody did not do that. This is one side of the story, and I'm not going to cast blame on either party, actually. Robyn was a child, and we don't know what her dad would say. If her dad wasn't around for lame reasons, that does suck. Right, I'm with you there. But Cody is truly not around his kids for what I personally feel are lame excuses. So, but she tells Cody, you don't want to be that guy. He already is. I'm sorry, he already is. Robyn is clearly upset when she's trying to articulate her issues with her own father, and Cody just speaks over top of her. Great. He claims that when he texts his kids, they send back messages saying, "You're a piece of trash. I never want to talk to you again." And honestly, do we believe this? Like, I think of the Brown kids, and I cannot picture a single one actually sending that message back. "Oh, you're a piece of trash." I'm sorry, I can't. Robyn wants him to keep trying, and he's arguing that he will not because of rejection. And he asserts he's not abandoning his children, they've betrayed him. He gives the caveat that maybe they did it inadvertently. I don't think that's going to change things when they see this on television. Robyn says they're your kids and they're young, and he fires back with animosity. And really, after this point, there is literally no growth in this argument. It does not go anywhere. No matter what Robyn says, it's everyone else's fault. He does not want to talk to them, and he says they could have him, but they don't need to treat him like crap. He claims they're purposefully leaving them out of their lives for a crime he didn't commit. He just never loved their mothers, and we've been over this point already. So that's time number 2 that I have told you about. On the couch, he gives us the list of reasons that everyone hates him. COVID, 1, 2, 3 divorces, the breakup of the family, the different directions, the secrecy. Oh no! Oops, that's what's tearing them all apart. And he doesn't know how they fix it. I already mentioned what a good start would be at least once, and he continues shouting at Robyn, telling her the kids just want to be able to sit down and blame me for everything that happened. There's no respect. And this is when Robyn admits that even she is struggling to have respect for him. Okay, that was a choice. That was a choice. He tells her, join the club. Okay, Cody, take it to heart. The person who is your ride or die is telling you, listen, this is not good. He asks if Robyn knows something he did wrong besides not falling madly in love with their mothers. And that's bad enough. You are asking the woman who has spent the last 14 years telling us how much you loved the other wives and how important that was to her. So this is the wrong play. That might be fine for off camera, right? But it invalidates a lot of what Robyn's been saying for you to argue, oh, I never loved them. And Robyn points out there's 2 sides to the story. She knows he wasn't perfect and the wives weren't perfect either. And I will concede that point. Nobody was. Cody does also concede to that point, but then yells at her that the kids blame him or you, which is a bunch of crap. She brushes it off and's like, it's just misguided or entirely valid if they feel like you did not take care with familial relationships like they needed you to. He gets really aggressive when he tells her he should not have to sit down with them and defend her. And then Christine tells us about David. That's it. We already know the story that she tells right here because she literally told it on the Tell Nothing last season. And she just says the exact same things, including the beautiful eyes comment. So then Janelle says, I'm not interested in dating. She's over it. She wants to pursue her own things, and she's happy to be able to do what she wants when she wants. Heard that too already. So I saved you 4 minutes so we could get back to the main event. And Robyn makes sure she doesn't want to judge Cody, but okay, girl, he has to let his kids know he's still there. And she says if she were him, she'd be finding every way to contact them, even if it meant flying out and showing up. I would not recommend that, but hey, Cody goes back to they blame you, and he wants to know, am I just supposed to let them say whatever they want? And Robyn's like, no, tell them to call me. And based off this performance of a fight, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to talk to either of them because it just seems to circle the donkey and spiral over and over and over until the poor donkey's dead from exhaustion. Cody is still lost on where the hate for Robyn came from. But if he can't protect her from it, he won't engage it. She never did anything to you, he says. What are you complaining about? He just loved Robyn and not your mother. But wait, I thought you said that Maddie lied and said you didn't love Janelle, who you just said you didn't love, which means Maddie would have told the truth. Is this a riddle? You know that riddle of one of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies? I think that's what Cody's going for, but he completely forgot how it went and flubbed the whole setup. He says there's guilt there, and that's where it lies. So he just admitted that he's guilty, but also that everyone else is. Cody is crap at riddles and is the last person I'm inviting to play D&D or Legend of Zelda. Just saying. So Rob is trying to coddle him and then just starts breaking down, saying she needs to get this. And he's like, listen, I'll keep trying. And this immediately switches gears. And he goes to say, I've spent a year in this place. And when I get over it, the children that are open to it will get my attention. Which is what we've heard them as an accusation say for a long time. And she pushes back, asking for communication. And he's like, at the wedding. And she's like, nah, bro. Nah. Just answer if you're even trying. And he says, yes, Gabriel. And then mentions Hunter, who he says receives him with contempt. On the couch, he's like, I don't know what I did to deserve this. Have you listened to anything that literally anyone, whether it's your children, your ex-wives, the viewing public has told you? They are telling you why they are upset and hurt. Robyn and Cody are arguing about divorce being hard, and Robyn falls into this trap where she's like, this is what I need to say. And then in her brain, she's like, everyone thinks I'm doing wonderful. And as soon as she says this, everyone goes, oh, we thought you might have cared. Never mind. If she had avoided saying this one statement to coddle Cody, it would have gone so much better for her. Honest to goodness. But she says, the kids are being fed information that's one-sided or wrong. Lost us there, Robs. You were so close. Cody says that they can be mad at their mothers 10 years from now then. No, I don't think so. Because, of course, he thinks that's when they're going to come crawling back looking for a relationship. He says that they can have one if they just stopped responding with contempt. If he says contempt one more time, I can't. Do you see what I mean? Nothing happens. The fight goes nowhere. On the couch, he's still arguing that it's everyone else's fault because of crap talk. And he blames the disappointment of the family breaking up. And he says, I did screw up because I gave up. I gave up on love because it wasn't enough love. You said it wasn't any. Oh my goodness. Am I going insane? He's like, I'm sure they'll say it's Dad's fault and they can blame me and it's fine. It's not fine. Oh my gosh. Except it's not fine, right? Weird voiceover guy. Can you come in and do that meme? He just doesn't want them to bring contempt into the conversation. Oh my gosh. If I say contempt one more time, I can't. He tells Robyn that he's so angry that if someone opens up, he's going to lash out. Because he has to get over what happened and how he's been treated. And I wonder if anywhere in his entire life, Cody was ever taught to think about literally anyone else and how they feel. Like, I keep hearing that time in my head that Christine said that she loved him lots, but it took him a while to realize he loved her too. Like, I don't know why that's playing, but maybe there's a connection. Robyn tells him to figure it out because it's hard on the two of them. And he's like, eventually I'm going to feel forgiving. I think, I hope. And he says that it doesn't take anything for him to get forgiving, which grammatically doesn't convey what he thinks it does. And Robyn wants him to get on his knees and ask God for help. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm pretty desperate. And as a believer, that's step one, not last resort. So it hits me in a way that it might not hit somebody who's not a believer. He finally admits that he's going to need a change of heart. Yes! And he says that when he goes to God, there's still this wall there from him, and he's completely lost his religion. And we flash back to episode 1 in Lehigh, where everybody's smiling, they're all together, and Robyn shares she felt Cody had been a very present dad, and it's what made her fall in love. This is the other narrative of what made her fall in love. And she makes the excuse, he's just so hurt by the kids' rejection and anger. Because, wait a minute, I was there for you. Why is your rejection so drastic? Cody wants to know if Robyn knows anyone who's gone through 3 divorces in a year or 2, and of course not, because that's completely atypical to society. And he wants her understanding, not her pity. And she's like, I am understanding. But he reminds her, you said you were losing respect for me. And she tries to explain, but he throws her experience with her father right back in her face. Is this because of what your dad did? And then argues he did not betray his kids. She breaks down and says she knows how much she needed her dad, which of course she's going to at this point because that was completely inappropriate to say to her. And on the couch, she explains that she still doesn't have a relationship with her dad. Cody claims the kids are colluding against him, and it's a betrayal, another word I never want to have to say again. I'm going to get a thesaurus and try to find all the words that match that. Robyn says they're hurting. Their family's in pieces. No one knows how it's going to turn out. Do you not see that? And his voice gets completely dispassionate. And he gives this 1,000-yard stare. I get it, and I can be completely forgiving of it. It's super creepy. I don't think I did that justice. And then it circles over and over and over. She doesn't want to judge him, but she doesn't think he should accept it. She wants him to camp out on their doorsteps. She keeps saying over and over again, the kids need you, the kids need you. And he just 1,000-yard stares straight through her and completely has shut down. It's awful. And then he says, I need some time and some space without you losing respect. And she's like, yeah, I will. And then he does that whole, the crime I never committed bit. And then wants to know, what did I do? Not love their mother? I was not joking that this is his only fallback point, guys. Robyn doubles down on anything they've been told, and it's a misunderstanding through COVID. She continues saying that the kids thought that he would rather be with her, and that's why he made the rules, and that's ridiculous. And finally, Cody starts to realize that mistakes were made when he admits to two huge mistakes during COVID. One, of course, was trying to throw out the boys from Janelle's house, though he does still say it was because they wouldn't comply with the COVID rules. And then it became a foolish power game. Okay. And he says that the other one was not going to Isabel's surgery, which put bad blood between him and a bunch of them. And of course it did. Robyn argues that the wives and kids in plural marriage just get confused about the husband and father because they can think he loves someone else more. You mean how Cody literally has admitted multiple times in this argument, we counted 6 so far, that was exactly the case? Robyn knows that he loves all of his kids, and she's like, it's difficult for a dad to get one-on-one time with kids in polygamy because it's a math issue. So of course it's natural the kids would become more close to their mother, right? Cody tries to sound relatable when he was like, I was skiing and I was up there. Honey, half this country ain't never been skiing because we don't have the money to go where skiing can be, okay? And he says, I texted Gabriel, and a name he spits out with all of the contempt he claims the kids have. It's been a week and nothing back. And it's so dramatic the way he does it. Robyn's like, you need to keep trying. And he tells her, I know I don't try enough. I know. But blames it on being unsafe to go there and that he's triggering like crazy. And guys, the overuse of therapy words in everyday life drives me nuts. But the overuse of therapy words incorrectly on this show makes me crazier. He tells us that he's so angry that if he talks to his kids, they're going to trigger him with an accusation. No, they will not trigger you. Triggers are not an other people problem. They're a you problem. I know this because I have certain things that start me down an OCD or anxiety spiral. But you know what I do? I don't blame other people for how I feel. And I get off Facebook or Instagram or wherever I am that I saw something that upset me, and I spend some time working on myself. And then I swear it sounds to me like Cody blames God. He says he doesn't have the bandwidth to go to God with gratitude and fill his love tank with the Spirit of God, which sort of sounds like you're not giving me enough to be gracious about. So they finally decide to end the argument where nothing happened but yelling. And then he says his priority is to fix their relationship because the only people being hurt are Cody and Robyn, no one else. Which, are you joking? No, because he continues on saying that he's mad as hell and shouldn't take it out on her. His heart is broken when he's sitting there with the person he loves most in the world. And she's like, yeah, my heart is broken too. And you react with this sweet, special emotion, but I'm angry out of my mind. Thank you, Cody. And they argue again about kids being collateral damage. Cody makes sure we know that one of the kids called him an a-hole and cut him off, and then accused him of brainwashing and manipulating them. And I see a ton of speculation online. Which kid? I think it's a combination of children, possibly, because we know that he and Garrison had that awful phone call where Cody called his son a narcissist. The manipulation and brainwashing, that feels super specific, and I'm not comfortable guessing who said it. Cody goes on to say that parent-child relationships are often thought to be non-reciprocal, but when the kids are adults, they need to be reciprocal. Sure, but it goes both ways then, and Cody's claiming he'll make the effort, but they need to also, and he's not camping out on doorsteps. So he tells Robyn, I'm not fixing this today, tomorrow, next week. That's obvious. So he needs some space. She gets in his face and demands, listen, you need to promise you're going to reach out a little bit. And of course he promises. And then he thanks her for talking to him outside because he didn't want to go back to where they were. So Robyn starts the close out to the episode saying the kids need their dad and they need him to try harder because that's his role. And she doesn't think he grasps how important that is. We get Robyn and Cody hugging in the snow in the weirdly shoveled square I mentioned before. So that's it. But as a follow-up to this, is present-day Cody trying? Well, Janelle and Christine just did an interview. I'll try to link it down in the description below. They say this season's going to kind of zoom forward, jumping as much closer to present day. But on top of that, Janelle says it's been a year since Savannah's seen her father. And Savannah confided in her mother she's going to have her brothers walk her down the aisle. So we tried to guess which brother would be most likely, and we settled on this order. We think it's Hunter, followed by Logan as a very close second, then Gabe, followed by Peyton. And I would give the exact same order if it were Isabel too, because Hunter was so there for her when she had her surgery. That would make the most sense to me. But what do we think? Real fight? Staged fight? I want to hear your opinions because, frankly, that's what we're all here for, right? Right. Okay, so that is episode 4. Episode 5 is tomorrow night, unless you have Max, and then it's Monday morning, and we'll be back to do all of this again. Hoy, that was a lot, and I said a lot of words for something that went absolutely nowhere. Guys, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. If you did not see my update in the last one, went to the doctor, got completely cleared, everything's doing great. You can see my hair is growing back pretty well. It's at the point now where it's at this length where it stands straight up off my head, but kind of also slicks backwards like I'm in some sort of stage show of Grease. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, that's all I have for you this time. I will see you back here next week pretty soon after we get the next episode. Bye, guys.